everybody, Kitsune Haruru here, and welcome to my channel. Today, something different, well, actually pulling it back out of the past. I finally, after 4 years now, got to go to a convention. The convention that I went to is Rathacon. A Rathacon is held in Athens, Ohio. It is a one-day convention, and it was held this past Saturday, which would have been the 13th, I believe. Today, well, is Monday. And now I have to remember what all I did at that time. Now, I only went for the half a day. Personal things, interfering, as it were. But in that half a day, I was more than suitably impressed with this convention. It is small, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have something to offer. As a matter of fact, I saw some of the most impressive props that I have seen at any convention, and they were done by the gentleman who handles the theatrical props for OU. He built like a life-size spear. He had a throne made of bones that you could sit down and have your picture on. He had weapons. He had everything going on. Amazing stuff. There was a little bit of cosplay there. I do believe there could be a lot more. Maybe there has been more in the past. But those who were cosplaying weren't bad at all. And it would definitely not be out of place at one of the bigger conventions in our area. Also, something I would like to note is there were some incredible artists in the dealer's room, where I actually ended up spending most of my time networking, as it were, and finding some friends that I had not seen in a while. So, I'm going to show you a little bit of what I brought back, but it does not even begin to scratch the surface of what was available. There were also gaming rooms and so on, and if at all, whether you've been there or not, if you can get this into your schedule for next year, I highly recommend it. It's one day. It runs from 10 to 7. It's easy. From Columbus, a one-day trip, no big deal. It might take you an hour and a half, 2 hours to get down here. But we are, on the other end of Hawkins, so you're going to have, some nice countryside to look at on your way down here. There's plenty around the town, food and other things. You don't have to go far to get it because it's right on East State Street where most of everything is, if it's not on Court. And you don't really need to have a hotel room, but if you do want to, the hotel is walking distance. So, keep that on your, in the back of your mind for next year. Great way to start off your season for summer, and just a nice relaxed con. So, let me show you some of what I've got. So one of the first things I will tell you is anytime I go to a convention, or anything else for that matter, I end up with a smattering of stickers and business cards. These guys over here too, can't forget these. And even buttons. I collect these up. I keep in contact with these people when I can, and I can tell you I've been able to find such great stuff just going around, keeping the business cards and going and looking everyone up. Even if you're not able to buy from them at the convention, maybe you can later on. Great way to get gifts that are different, handmade, and really, really special. Now, I took a closer picture of all of these so you can see, who all I got here. I unfortunately do not have business cards for every person that I got things from or visited with. Some of them didn't have any. But yeah, they're a part of my swag, as it were, whenever I go to a convention. So let me go ahead and pull these guys out of the way. And I can talk about more specifically some things that I was looking at. This particular convention had a lot of freelance comic book artists. And I got a hold of a really nice original. Very, very inexpensive, but it is the original ink that they drew by hand. I love this mermaid. She was looking at the mermaid that was hanging around my neck. I took Choo Choo with me. And yeah, that started the conversation, and this was the first one they brought out. And while all their work was great, I fell in love with this design because it is so different. Now, the artist who did this, here is their website. If you're interested in checking them out, I do encourage you to do so. They also had a thing for a lot of Mothman on a lot of booths down here. I've seen so many amigurumi, artwork, everything. We are very, very close to Point Pleasant, so Mothman is really top of the list, as well as Sasquatch. Now, another artist that I saw was Shawn Langley, and I've actually known Shawn since we were in our teens, actually. My first job that wasn't babysitting was at Burger King, and I worked there with him. My job that was babysitting, I was babysitting his nephews. And he has gone into the horror genre and really has done some really awesome artwork. He had all sorts of things there. If you want to be able to find him, it is ShawnLangley.com, which actually is easiest to see on this one. And I did take a closer picture of this so you can see it better. But this is his comic book, or coloring book, I'm sorry. Some stickers and pins from him. And if you like some good detailed work, that he is very detailed. I still have some of his stuff from way back in the day, and he has done nothing but improve. And as you can see, beautiful detailed work in here. And it also has a storyline going through the whole thing. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. You need to go and get this. If you like horror, if you like detailed illustration, here you go. Now, I did stop and talk to a booth where they were selling toys and action figures. And we talked about Ninja Turtles for a while. Both of us were fans from way back in the day. And he had a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff. He had a lot of Funko Pop, of everything. And this poor little fella was just kind of sitting on the side, and the doll collector that I am could not leave him alone. And at first, because I'm not much of a Barbie collector, as you know, I thought it was a Tommy, because he's just about the right size. He did know that the doll was from the 70s. So he's very excellent condition. It's like he never got played with. He's got, I mean, a little fuzz or something on him, which can happen from storage. But he's perfect condition. And I just let him because he was Peter Pan. So I asked him, like, how much do you want for him? He's like, $8. That sounded good to me. He's a doll from the 70s. $8 is phenomenal. And it costs a lot more for a new Barbie nowadays. And I brought him home. And come to find out that this happy little fella is actually a Madame Alexander from the 70s with real fabric clothing. His hat is flocked, but it's plastic and molded on. You can see he's got some little freckles and eyelashes going on there. By the way, I don't collect much Madame Alexander either. As a matter of fact, I don't think I have any Madame Alexander at all. So that's why I couldn't tell this wasn't Tommy. And I, don't see. I can see there's a marking on the back of the head, but I can't read it even with my bifocals. It's too small. But yeah, he's worth like $50. So I actually got a really amazing deal for this little guy. So he's gonna. Oh, he actually can stand up in my shadow boxes. So that's probably where he's gonna go and live. Because, I mean, after all, look at the little blinking eyes. There's little blinking sleep eyes. I love that. They don't do that in dolls very often. He's got an articulated head. He's at the shoulder and at the hip. And his whole body is molded in the brown of his leggings. But yeah, he was a nice little find. And they had a lot of other toys and things for other people as well. Now, there were also people making soaps. I've run across Danny Cat Designs before, and I've got to say, they've got some really good soaps. These are their D&D themed. I've got some Critical Hit, Druid, and Sorcerer, and because of allergies in our household, I did have to ask what was in them, and while it's written on here, I can't see it again, so they were perfectly happy to go ahead and pull up all of their ingredients online and let me know. And I thank them very much for that. They had deals we can get 3 for a lower price than just getting 1 at a time. They had candles, just all sorts of things going on. And if you look, these come with a D20 embedded in the top of them that matches the color of the soap. And you know me, I'm a dice hoarder. What can I say? But these absolutely do smell phenomenal, and I can't wait to try them out. I like my fancy soaps, especially if they smell really good. And believe me, the smell drew me over. So check them out. It's Danny Cat Designs, and they've got their website right here on the back, if you can see that. Moving on. Oh, hopefully I will remember to put in the description of this video what websites I have, and if I don't remember, tell me. I'll get them in the comments. There were several people who were doing 3D printed items. All of them were amazing. I did get one picture, which unfortunately is on my phone, so let me do this the hard way here. There was a young man. He can't be more than his teens, I don't think. I may be wrong. But this young man had a 3D printed Yoda that he had done that was life-size. Right there, that is on my camera. I had to stop and take a picture. This thing was amazing. He said he'd done 2 of them. I'm like, oh, that took some hours. He's like, yes, definitely a lot. He was only selling that thing for $200. As big as it was, as many hours went into it, that's a really amazing price. But if you looked in the background here, if you could see, he was also doing helmets. So he had Magneto's helmet, he had the Mandalorian, all sorts of things like that. I got his information because I am interested in being able to maybe eventually do a protogen, and I would love to have that outer shell done by him because that's going to be really, really sturdy. And how well you can see that there. But that's who did it. Pretty impressed. You're going to have some finish work to do, but you know, that's true with a lot of 3D printing, and frankly, I think it was pretty awesome. I didn't get any pictures of what they were making, but Castle Keep Crafts was doing felt plush, cute little critters. They had some very large foxes, some little cat wizards and things. I didn't get any of those. I did not have the money for theirs. Other 3D printers, there were a few, but this one particular booth really drew me in. Everything was super inexpensive. They had a buy 3 for 10 deal on their minis, and then they had an item I couldn't say no to. And a couple of them are good as they are. I'm not going to do a thing to them, but one I am going to have show up on Doll Yokai because I need to blush it because it's too cute. And here we are, and I'm sure you've seen these on TikTok. The little dragons. Yeah, this is one of the crystal dragons. This is a mini, so he's just got front legs. And then he's the tail and all of that good stuff. He's kind of shiny on the bottom. And I love this green gold gradient. This happy little guy was in a 3 for deal. Along with this one. Now this is a mini spider. They had an octopus. This thing, you see the weave pattern on here? That has got details that make it look like an amigurumi. And they are good, deep grooves and everything. It floored me when I saw the big one. And then looked over and like, oh, there's a little one. So I get a spooter. Had to get the teal one too. I love that color on him. But yeah, he's fully articulated all over the place. Makes an awesome noise. And the other miniature, which prompted me to go ahead and get minis, was a rose frog. Isn't that just beautiful? Unfortunately, I didn't think about it. I didn't ask. I assumed they would put a business card in my bag. I don't know that I got one from them. It might be one of these over here, maybe not, but I don't know who they are, and I would dearly love to know, because this little guy would make a fabulous gift for a lot of people I know. So I'm going to have to hope that I run across them, if by accident, and maybe be able to do some more. But there was one more thing that I got from them, and this is the one that's going to show up on Doll Yokai. I got a little Highland cow. He came in brown, but I wanted purple. I got a cow. And it's going to get blushed and finished because, my goodness, it's a Highland cow. That's automatically too cute. Articulated at the head, as long as having the wiggly legs and the tail and the udders. Could not resist. And he was super cheap. And since I have recently found that doing 3D printed stuff is really, really easy when you're doing blushing, that worked out so perfect. But yeah, if I ran across these people, or if they see this and contact me, that would be great. I need some more of this guy. But yeah, great guys here. And like I said, there were a lot of people doing 3D printing there. All of them having some very unique items that were absolutely wonderful. Now, the 501st, of course, was there. I do not know which division. There were some other cosplay groups and so on. Oh, and also in Athens, there is a Makerspace, just called the Community Makerspace. And I got talking to them. They're actually not far from where I live, which is great because should I wish to, teach or take a class or whatever, it's very close by. And I took a close-up of this flyer for them as well. If you are in Athens or somewhere nearby and need a Makerspace, I would recommend coming and checking them out. They are at 751 West Union Street in Athens. They are at Makerspace at ruralaction.org. And they're also with upcycleohio.com/makerspace. They're open from Monday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. There are different types of memberships that you can get with them. Monthly, student monthly, annual, student annual, hourly punch cards, and hourly. And there's also a little QR code deal going on here. I also went ahead and took a quick picture of their schedule for this month in case you do decide to stop by this month and see what they're up to. But I'm going to guess they probably have it on their website as well. Now, the things I didn't get to included the gaming space and, well, pretty much everything else. There was more going on down the hallway, but I spent my entire time in the dealer's room talking to people in there, networking, seeing what I can possibly get involved in the near future. So, maybe, if things work out, I will do some volunteering with them. By the way, if you like your local convention, do some volunteer time there. Sometimes they're incentives, sometimes they're not, depending on how big the con is. But you do get the satisfaction of helping your convention go further and give more to the people who come to support it. Anyway, guys, that's what I had to say on all of this. I do hope you enjoyed this little bit of a, well, ramble that I am having. And I will see you next time with, oh, I don't know, we'll see. Whatever I happen to be doing. Watch for this little guy to show up later on Doll Yokai. Like, subscribe, and share. And bye-bye. I forgot. There's also, if you're attending Rio Grande or maybe anywhere nearby, they are having Final Boss Con on May the 4th 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Admission is only $7. Check them out at www.finalboss.con.com. Also, they will be putting on the Rio Renaissance Fair. That will be September 28th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Bob Evans Farms Shelter House in the field at Rio Grande, Ohio. You want to find that again at www.finalbosscon.com/Rio Renaissance Fair. Alright, bye-bye.